renewed for the 188th time. For 40 minutes, these Warriors will experience a variety of emotions. Highs, lows, frustration, jubilation. All part of the rivalry that has no peer in the SEC. Rarely has this game meant so much to the victor, first place in the SEC East. In Knoxville, all roads lead to Thompson Bowling Arena as the fans, mostly clad in orange but with a little blue sprinkled in, stream into the arena, and a sellout crowd of nearly 25,000 is expected as Kentucky takes on Tennessee. The importance of the game cannot be overstated. Look at the standings in the SEC East with Tennessee, Florida, and Kentucky in a three-way tie for the top spot and the best overall record in the Southeastern Conference. If you're wondering about tiebreakers, head-to-head is the first tiebreaker. The second is divisional play, and in that regard, Kentucky has the edge on Tennessee and on Florida. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Knoxville. I'm Tom Hammond, and both coaches feeling the pressure of this game, upset with their teams coming in. Tubby Smith shuffled his starting lineup on Saturday, worried about the mental state of his squad. And Jerry Green, in the wake of the Vols' loss at Vanderbilt, saying his team was flaky. They need better shot selection and more patience. Joined by Larry Conley for the color commentary. Should be fun, Larry. When the two teams played in Lexington, Kentucky won 81-68. The two big men expected to be a force. C.J. Black of Tennessee, Jamal McGlure of Kentucky played to a standoff.
Tom, they really were non-factors in the basketball game. You take a look at these numbers right here. Both of them scored 2 points in very limited playing time. Both of these excellent front court players have had good years, and tonight they're really needed by both of their respective clubs.
And when the two guys canceled each other out in Lexington, Kentucky's perimeter players beat their Tennessee counterparts, chiefly Keith Bogans, who had 25 points. Tony Harris in that game had a subpar shooting night, and if you look at the stats, he's a pretty good barometer of how Tennessee's going to fare.
Well, as the Volunteers go, well, Tony Harris is the guy that leads them. Take a look at these numbers. In the 4 losses, what he shoots, what he averages, but look at his season average. He needs to play very well here tonight because they need his backcourt leadership.
Tennessee's Tony Harris, one of the keys to tonight's game. The Vols and the Wildcats back with the lineups in just a moment.
Why are business travelers choosing Sleep Inn? The well-lit grounds, the electronic locks, the walk-in showers, complimentary breakfast. Because it's a place that understands the needs of the business traveler. It's all those things, plus the service.
Hey, knock it off.
Is incredible. If you're traveling on business, stay at Sleep Inn, in a class by itself.
Advance Auto Parts presents part number 16. Larry, our battery expert. Larry installs more Autocraft batteries in a day than most people do in a lifetime. No matter what you drive, Larry will make sure you get the right battery for your car.
92 Accord?
Yeah.
Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
Of all the stories you've come to know, the most important by far is your own. With no other story do you care so much about how it turns out. Are you just waiting to see, or are you writing it the way you want it to go? At Jefferson Pilot Financial, we're doing more than providing financial services. We're helping you write the story of your life.
SEC basketball is being brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people. By Sleep Inn. The next time you travel, stay at Sleep Inn, in a class by itself. By Piccadilly Cafeteria. Who says you can't please everybody? By Jefferson Pilot Financial. Complete financial planning and life insurance. We're helping you write the story of your life. And by Bank of America. At Bank of America, we find financial solutions that fit you. Let's talk.
Welcome back to Knoxville, where the Volunteers have just been introduced to this sellout crowd, nearly 25,000 at Thompson Bowling Arena. And let's take a look at the starting lineups. First for Kentucky, one change in their starting lineup, their normal lineup tonight. Jules Kamara, who got the start at Georgia Saturday and had a double-double, 12 points, 12 rebounds, gets the start for Desmond Allison. Prince, McGlure, Bogans, who had 25 against Tennessee, and the point guard, Saul Smith. Tennessee can tie their all-time number of wins in a season, 22, with a victory tonight. We've seen the Kentucky lineup. Here's the Tennessee lineup. Yarbrough, who at 16 a game, the SEC's number 4 scorer. Victor, who's a Kentuckian, had a double-double, 12 points, 10 boards up in Lexington. Black, Higgins, the freshman, and Harris, the point guard. Tennessee hosting Kentucky. We're back to take a look at tonight's starting lineup and our game in just a moment.
It's time for another Piccadilly People Profile. Meet Johnny Williamson, truck driver and vegetarian. Today, Johnny's starting with a sensible salad or 2, broccoli, corn, and, of course, vegetable soup. Can't forget that carrot cake. Yep, Piccadilly's 50 feet of hot, wholesome home-style cooking can handle just about any taste, not to mention appetite. Piccadilly Cafeteria. Who says you can't please everybody?
Hey, how'd it go at the bank? Jim, the car loan. Did we get it?
How about a home equity loan?
At Bank of America, we get to know you.
Jim, honey, what's this?
We ask questions.
Car?
Right. So why not a car loan? Well, are they all out of car loans?
Then we find financial solutions that fit you.
Actually, we have plenty of equity in the house, and we could get this thing called a tax break. I mean, where is the trust?
Bank of America. Let's talk.
Please join us on Saturday, March 4th from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. for Black Expo 2000. Bring the entire family and enjoy vendors, exhibits, live entertainment, seminars, and a health fair. Make sure to register for door prizes to be giving out during the day. That's Black Expo 2000, Saturday, March 4th at the Gale Yard Auditorium, presented by Black Pages USA. For more information, call 722-4453.
Is fired up. In his 3rd season, won a national.
Be the first of many rejections we'll see tonight. These two clubs really, in fact, they lead the Southeastern Conference in block shot. In a straight man-to-man defense. I asked Tubby Smith today, what are you going to do? Anything special? He said, we'll do what we tried to do in Lexington.
Tubby's ball line defense is the most potent in the league, allowing only 61.4 points a game. Shot clock at 5. Higgins into the corner. Yarbrough short, partially blocked, up against the shot clock. And each team misfiring on its first possession.
Kentucky has 3 of the top shot blockers in the Southeastern Conference. Tayshaun Prince just got 1.
Here's Bogans, who had a career-high 25, the freshman did, in the game against the Vols in Lexington. Jump stop, nothing there.
Well, both clubs very tentative right now, just kind of feeling each other out.
Like the early rounds of a heavyweight match. Long 3 by Saul Smith, not there. Yarbrough claims the rebound.
Jerry Green up off the bench, telling his club to push it up the floor.
Victor short on that shot. And off C.J. Black, Kentucky's ball.
Pretty good play that time by Saul Smith underneath. He and Black were both battling to try to get it. Tennessee with some token full court pressure.
Little nerves on both ends of the court tonight. No one has stepped up to take command yet. Kamara guarded closely by Victor. Here's McGlure from outside, not there. And Yarbrough fighting with his teammate for the ball. It goes out of bounds. Kentucky gets a reprieve. Bad pass, but Smith is able to chase it down. Still nothing. 2 minutes played. Bogans from outside, no good. Kentucky, as you probably know, is the worst shooting team in the SEC.
Going up against the best shooting team. Or one of them, anyway. From the 3-point range, they are.
Victor on the low post, flashes it back out to Yarbrough. Guarded by Prince, help defense by McGlure. Tap no good, and Prince the rebound.
Now both clubs pitching a shutout so far.
0 for 4 Kentucky, 0 for 3 Tennessee. Two and a half minutes gone by, and still no one has scored. Kamara backing his way in, turns, missed everything. McGlure with a putback gets the first bucket of the game. Offensive rebound and a stick back by McGlure.
McGlure, one of those players that's played very well in conference play since they started the season in the SEC. He's been one of the stalwarts for this Kentucky club. Once again, good move right here to get to the inside and get the position. Tell you one thing he's done well, Tom. He has really improved his inside work, particularly on the offensive glass.
The only problem is he tends to disappear sometimes in the big games when teams can match up well against him. Had only 2 against Tennessee, only 4 against Florida. The Wildcats still have a date with the Gators in Rupp Arena, the last game of the regular season. Shot clock at 7. Harris floater, no good. Bogans has it. Numbers for Kentucky, 3-on-1. Bogans gets it back from Kamara, missed it. There's McGlure to knock it home.
Nice follow. He and Kamara both were there. Interesting that Tennessee didn't have anybody back. They had one guy back. The numbers were 3-on-1. Volunteers look like they're not ready to play right now. They've gone almost 3.5 minutes without a point.
Backdoor cut, and they turn it over. Yarbrough can't catch the pass. Another Tennessee turnover.
Good way to run a 2-man break when you've got it. Bogans out in front, leads the pass up to Kamara, who gives it right back to him. And a good follow. Look at McGlure and Kamara both there. They just funneled the ball right into the basket.
McGlure with all 4 Kentucky points, and the Wildcats still shutting out the Volunteers. We played almost 4 minutes. Prince off a quick screen. You see the poor shooting on both ends. Shot clock at 10. Bogans stepping out. Victor cut him off. And it was deflected out of bounds by Tennessee. Kentucky gets it. 7 to shoot.
Well, we got a terrific crowd in here tonight. Thompson Bowling has absorbed just about everybody in here. I just see a very few empty seats here.
Kamara, ball fake, got him free, and then he nailed the shot. Nice move by Jules Kamara.
Tom, important that Kentucky got off to a good start tonight on the road against this Tennessee club who swept them last year. Got them in both games. Kentucky trying to return the favor this year.
And they're up 6-0. Tennessee, as you see, has gone nearly 4.5 minutes without scoring. From the corner, Harris for 3.
Well, we talked about him at the top of the show. If he gets it cranked up, he's the one guy that can lead this Volunteer team.
That cuts the Kentucky lead in half. Prince, a long 3. Kicks high and off the rim. Gathered in by C.J. Black. That was an NBA range 3. I'm not sure about the shot selection that time. Here's Higgins. Got the roll. John Higgins.
I'm not sure if Victor didn't tip that in.
Well, maybe he did.
It looked like it was rolling along the edge of the rim.
They announced Higgins, though.
Did they announce Higgins?
Yeah. Prince takes it all the way, kicks it back to Bogans for 3. Now the basket's starting to fall with regularity. Action heating up. Harris right against Saul Smith. Out of bounds, off Harris, Kentucky's ball. Good defense by Smith. Well, it took forever for anybody to score, and then the 3 started raining down. Tony Harris for Tennessee and Keith Bogans for Kentucky. Timeout. Kentucky leading 9-5.
Advance Auto Parts presents part number 16. Larry, our battery expert. Larry installs more Autocraft batteries in a day than most people do in a lifetime. No matter what you drive, Larry will make sure you get the right battery for your car.
92 Accord?
Yeah.
Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
Tennessee 2 of 6 shooting to open the game.
In particular, a good start for Jamal McGlure as well for Kentucky.
Wildcats will bring it up court against full court Tennessee pressure. You see the early shooting. Here's a run out, but the pass is so high, Saul Smith able to track it down. Into the game for Tennessee at the timeout. Harris Walker, 6'1" freshman from Chattanooga. He's guarding Saul Smith. McGlure calling for it on the low post. Instead, it's Bogans, guarded now by Harris with a defensive switch by Tennessee. Smith, open three. Came off a screen, couldn't hit.
Boy,
Here's McGlure,
look
another
at
offensive
McGlure.
board.
Boy, that was a strong rebound.
His third. Kamara got in the air with nowhere to go. Bad-looking shot that never got above the level of the rim, and Tennessee will take over.
Tom, it's evident to me that Jamal McGlure has decided to show up and play tonight. He really moved well to get that offensive rebound that time, keep it alive, even though Kentucky could not capitalize.
Tennessee with the ball, down 4.
A little pressure of their own, Kentucky throwing at Tennessee. Looks like Kentucky's going to go to the zone.
They're in a zone defense. Yarbrough lost it for a moment, got it back. Here's Walker with a long three. Back rim. C.J. Black gave it up inside, and the basket good underneath by Yarbrough.
Oh, look at Salt Smith. Is he in a hurry?
Bogans dished inside, or tried to McGlure. Bogans got it back, stripped away again. Finally, McGlure comes up with it and pounds it home. He has a half dozen points.
Terrific effort that time inside. Kentucky very fortunate to come up with that ball. Black a little slow getting up off the floor.
4-point Kentucky lead. Lob inside and off the glass. Then Victor comes up with it, and McGlure commits his first foul.
Watch the Volunteers inside passing right here. On the miss, watch this follow-up right here. Good grab by C.J. Black. Little kick pass to the other side. Yarbrough with a ball fake. Didn't need to have it. He still went up strong enough to get it off the glass. Loose ball down inside. You can see 7 guys in there battling. McGlure with a good stretch there. And when he stretches that body out, it's a long stretch.
Even though McGlure collided with Victor, the foul was called on Keith Bogans. Bogans committing the first foul. Here's Desmond Allison replacing Bogans, who didn't appear to be happy to be going out of the game.
He'd have a little scowl on his face, didn't he?
And Isaiah Victor, the Hopkinsville, Kentucky native, who put up a double-double against the Wildcats in Lexington, knocks in the second free throw. Marvin Stone and J.P. Blevins into the game for Kentucky. And Jerry Green is going to go to his bench as well with Charles Hathaway and Ron Slay. Slay, a fan favorite to Chatterbox, who's all over the court normally. 6'8" freshman from Nashville.
Can we say he's very verbal?
Allison handling the ball. He's had 24 assists and just 4 turnovers the last 6 games.
That's a 6-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. Not bad.
And Blevins, who had 14 points, including 4 3-pointers, getting the start against Georgia on Saturday. Foul called on Charles Hathaway. You see the black headbands that many of the Vols are wearing. That's in honor of their teammate Del Baker, who suffered a broken foot, is in a cast, and will be out 4 to 6 weeks.
Tennessee looks like that. No, I thought they were in a zone, but they have gone man-to-man.
Hathaway's taken up the challenge of guarding McGlure, facing him up here. McGlure drives, and the hook is too short. And the rebound pulled down by Tennessee by Ron Slay. Harris again. Tony Harris from the same spot as a moment ago.
I think he's found a home on that right side.
And the lead is 3. Trap of Allison. He lost it. Harris has it. 3-on-2 Vols. Harris pull-up shot. Yes.
Yes. I thought it was out too. Tony Harris bringing this ball club back. Well, that's a good trap at midcourt. Slay and Harris able to come up with a turnover, and Harris finishing it off.
Prince looking inside. Here's Stone. Slapped away from him. Yarbrough's got it. 3-on-1. Harris, lob. Yarbrough slam.
The Volunteers are back. The defense triggered it, Tom. In both instances, they got turnovers at midcourt and turned them into baskets.
Inside, McGlure has been the money man for Kentucky. He's fouled. Harris and Hathaway sandwiched him. Tony Green discussing it with Charles Hathaway.
Hathaway carried the ball right over to Tony Green, and he says, look, here's the ball, but let me tell you what he's doing to me.
Tennessee behind the play of Tony Harris, taking a 15-11 lead. Foul is on Hathaway. It's his second.
Now Hathaway's talking to Andre Patillo, the official down on the baseline.
The scoreboard here at Thompson Bowling is frozen on 11-8 Kentucky. It's 15-11 as McGlure misses the first free throw.
I kept looking at that scoreboard. I said something is wrong.
Saul Smith returns for Kentucky. Terrence Woods in for Tennessee. Keith Bogans. There's the scoreboard, which is sort of frozen in time and in a manner not to the liking of the Tennessee fans.
And there are a lot of engineers and other people are right around the scorers and timers table over there. Vegas
Davis in for Tennessee too. Both coaches liberally going to their bench in this emotional game. McGlure makes it 15-12 Tennessee. Tony Harris with another three-pointer. And then after the steal, Harris leads the break. Here's the steal coming up, the trap of Allison. Harris picks it up, and he'll trigger the fast break with a lob. No, this is his pull-up, which goes down. And then Harris with the lob to Yarbrough, and he jams it. As you can see, Tony Harris has led Tennessee to the lead.
Shoot a jumper, make the play, and be the stop
in the first half. Well, if you're a basketball fan, you've got to be at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta for the SEC tournament. This is going to be one amazing tournament at the Georgia Dome March 9th through the 12th. Tickets still available at 1-800-994-7321. The SEC tournament in Atlanta. There's Tony Harris, and all of a sudden he caught fire, and so did the Volunteers as he hit the threes, and after the steal triggering the fast break, Jamal McGlure gets a rest for Kentucky. He's been their most dependable scorer. Kentucky 5 of 15, 33%. Tennessee 6 of 11, 55% shooting, including 2 of 3 by Harris from the three-point line.
Good pressure by Kentucky defensively. Woods having trouble with Allison.
Walker looking inside for Slay, and knocked away by Kamara. It came right back to Slay, though. And finally, Tennessee does manage to save it in bounds. Well, they kept playing. I thought they called it Kentucky's way, but Woods wouldn't give it up.
Well, I heard the whistle blow, and I saw one official point, and the guy kept dribbling the basketball.
So Kentucky puts it in play. Wildcats down by 3. Reach-in foul called on Harris Walker at Tennessee.
Harris Walker trying to bring the ball up, one of those outstanding freshmen that we've been talking about for Tennessee all year long.
Third foul against the Volunteers.
I was going to say Hayslip, Higgins, Slay, Walker, and Woods, all 5 contributing a lot to this Volunteer team this year.
Tennessee has 4 freshmen on the floor, Kentucky 2 at the moment. There's one of them, Bogans, getting a screen from Kamara and launching a 3. Stone, offensive rebound, short on the putback attempt, and Slay leads the fast break. Maybe ill-advisedly leading the fast break as he traveled a couple of times, and Tennessee turns it over for the 4th time.
I'm not sure it was a travel. I think he simply lost the basketball before he had a chance to travel.
Take your choice. There were plenty of calls you could have made there. He needed to give it up, as you see Del Baker on the bench, injured and unable to play. And many of his teammates wearing the black headbands with DB on them in his honor.
Yeah, Jerry Green was talking about this young man. He didn't contribute a lot of points to what they did this year, but he said he's been a tremendous practice player for him.
Bogans lost it. Here we go again. Slay one more time, and this time he got it.
I'll tell you what, that's the second hardest effort he's made all year. The first one was just about 20 seconds ago.
Tennessee's biggest lead.
Well, they're really jamming up McGlure inside. Now he's got it.
And he lost it out of bounds. He wanted a foul, no call.
Watch again. Bogan's right here with the basketball, losing it. Now watch Slay. Good push right here. He's looking up to see if anybody's with him. He said, nope, all right, I'll take it myself. Not too sure he didn't walk. Looked like he threw an extra step in there at the end.
Full court pressure from Kentucky. Woods cut off by McGlure. Gave it up. Shot blocked. And Smith has it for the Wildcats. 3-on-3 break. Smith lost the ball. Goes back to get it. And Kentucky will set it up. Kentucky's used to these scoring droughts. 3.5 minutes on this one. As we said, the poorest shooting team in the conference, and they go through these periodic scoring droughts. Penetration. Smith kicks it to Prince for 3. McGlure with the offensive rebound is fouled.
Boy, another good offensive rebound by Jamal McGlure inside. Looked like Slay was the one who got him. He pushed him out of the way.
Ron Slay's first. Black and Victor will come back for the Volunteers, and Yarbrough as well.
Tom, it's obvious that McGlure is very active tonight. He's going to be moving around on the inside in there. Tennessee's going to have to use a lot of people in there to try to slow him down.
Well, they have a lot of people. Tennessee, one of the deepest teams around. He has 5 points and 4 rebounds. One of those tip-ins, you remember earlier, it was McGlure and Kamara together. They finally wound up changing it and giving it to Jules Kamara, so McGlure only has 4 points officially. Prince picked up on the switch by Victor, gives it up. Smith driving on Harris, blocked by Yarbrough, and then saved inbounds. It'll roll out of bounds, and Kentucky gets a break. Now, are they going to rule Tennessee had possession? Kentucky gets a fresh 35. That's
well, the ball was slapped out of the bounds. If, in fact, before he went out of bounds, they say he had possession, and they will get a fresh 35. Saw Smith trying to go up, and Tom, right there, you can see the block as it goes out of bounds. Now watch Victor. He flew out of your screen on the right side right there, and they're saying he did have possession when he threw it back in.
So, as I said, Kentucky got a break. It was going to be a shot clock violation had they not gotten that fresh 35 on the attempted save. Tennessee really stepping up the defensive intensity, as you mentioned. Allison for 3. Wildcats scoring drought continues. Victor went above McGlure to get the rebound. Harris slashing to the basket, gives it to Victor, and he's fouled by Kamara.
Tom, that was an unbelievable rebound by Isaiah Victor. He had McGlure right in front of him, and he simply elevated above him to get the basketball. Look at this. McGlure's in great position, and Victor went up and just took it away from him. Terrific play.
Victor at 6'9", going above the 6'10" McGlure, and on the other end gets to the free throw line and makes the first. Kamara goes out. Bogans comes into the Kentucky lineup. Victor's had 4 double-doubles this season, including the one in Lexington.
He's had a really inconsistent year, though. Yep. He's really been up and down all year long. I mean, he's had some great games, but he has had some really poor games, too.
Tennessee's outscored Kentucky 11-1 over the last 5 minutes. 1 point in 5 minutes for the Wildcats. There's that scoring run. Kentucky is just not a smooth offensive team. Careless pass. Yarbrough with a steal. Harris, the no-look. Victor. He'll shoot 2.
Tennessee getting out on the break very well that time. Tom, Tennessee's defense is really triggering a lot of their offense today. When they get the ball in the turnover, they're doing something with it on the other end. Jerry Green will be pleased with the way his defense is playing so far.
Tennessee sputtered a little bit at the start, but then they stepped up their defense. They raised the intensity level of their defense and of the entire game, and Kentucky has not been able to respond. Took a trip around the rim and fell through for Victor.
Sometimes you can raise the intensity level of that defense and nothing will happen on the other end, but Tennessee's been able to convert. It's the reason they've got a 7-point lead right now. They have really shut Kentucky down.
Dale Baker standing with that cast on his right foot. Victor hits both free throws. It's been all Tennessee. Kentucky has missed its last 7 shots, and they've scored 1 point in the last 5.5 minutes.
Let me win. Let me win. Let me win.
Let me win.
But if I cannot 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 win.
Let me be brave. Let me be brave. Let me be brave.
Let me be brave in the attempt.
The Special Olympics.
The Southeastern Conference.
Private training for life.
You know, you can't accept less from life.
And the Volunteers have a 20-12 lead on the Wildcats. Well, the 5 best basketball players in SEC history, well, you can vote online at jpsports.com. That's the All-Century Team, brought to you by Sleep In. And when you vote, you may be a weekly winner of 2 free nights at any Sleep In and entered to win an expense-paid 2-day weekend at Kiowa Island Resort in South Carolina. You can also vote by mail by sending your selections to the address on the screen. Make your choice for the All-Century Team, presented by Sleep In.
Last time I looked at that all-century team, I didn't notice anybody back in the 60s or the 70s.
Nobody from your vintage or before, I say, except Pistol Pete just was shortly after you.
Yep.
Dan Issel was shortly
That's
after
right.
you.
Yeah, he was.
But late 60s.
Roger Roebuck remembers that, our producer.
Full court pressure by Tennessee. Kentucky has handled it spottily. Trap of Prince, gets it to Bogans. They've got numbers, but they don't attack. Now they set it up. Allison was calling for it wide open at the three-point line, but they elected to slow it down and set it up. Stone, Black doesn't come out to get him. Bogans for 3. Another missed 3. Prince fouled by Victor on the rebound. Kentucky 1 of 7 from the three-point arc.
Tom, it's obvious to me in this first half that Kentucky wants to run their half-court game. They're not getting into the break situation. You can see Bogans with a miss right here. Watch this ball carry him long. And Victor comes up underneath Tayshaun Prince to draw the foul.
5th foul against Tennessee, the first on Victor. 7.5 minutes left in the first half. Kentucky got out to a 6-0 lead before Tennessee carried the fight to the Wildcats, and they're up 8.
Good ball fake by Prince.
Allison nearly lost his footing, has to give it up. Prince, jump hook, rolls off, tipped up and in by Keith Bogans. Their first field goal since the 13:30 mark comes with 7 minutes left in the half.
Tubby Smith looking around saying, come on, guys, pick up the intensity a little bit.
If they're going to start to come back, they need to do it on the defensive end, a la Tennessee. Victor's shot contested, but saved inbounds. Tennessee quicker to all the loose balls. Victor, no good. Tap, no good. Smith can't save it, but calls a timeout as he sails out of bounds. Saving possession for the Wildcats, a 20-second timeout. 6:33 coming. We'll make it a full timeout with the Volunteers up on the Cats 20-14.
Why are business travelers choosing Sleep In?
Well, easy. First, make plans now to attend the SEC basketball tournament in Atlanta, March 9th through the 12th. Second, visit the Dr. Pepper SEC Fan Fair on Thursday and Friday of tournament week and register for your chance to participate in the Dr. Pepper $1 million shootout. Third, if selected, make a layup, free throw, three-point shot, and half-court shot in 30 seconds, and you will be an instant millionaire. The Dr. Pepper $1 million shootout at the SEC tournament. Check jpsports.com for the official rules beginning next week. Ashley Judd appears to be in attendance tonight. Wearing her Kentucky blue, but coming over from her home, which is in Nashville, Tennessee. No divided loyalties for her, apparently, though. Let's check halftime score. The Florida Gators in the battle in Athens, tied with the Bulldogs at 31. LSU up 1 at South Carolina. That's a halftime score. Tigers have been so hot lately, and winning on the road, something they hadn't done for years. But the Gamecocks giving them a battle in Columbia.
I'll tell you something, Tom. South Carolina's been playing very well recently. Last 10 days, they have played about as well as anybody in this league. They've had a couple of back-to-back wins.
Away from the ball, foul called on Kentucky. Marvin Stone tagged with his first.
He's trying to push C.J. Black underneath the basket. Got caught, and they'll go the other way with it.
4th foul against the Wildcats with 6:25 left in the opening half. Jamal McGlure replacing Marvin Stone, who gets a lecture from Tubby Smith.
Bruce Benedict doing a little house cleaning over there in front of the scorer's table. Referees do that occasionally.
Like cleaning off home plate for Bruce.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a hand check foul and a good call. Desmond Allison, his first.
We had a good view of that right here where we were sitting as Yarborough was making that move and cut across the lane. Allison reached out with his right hand, just stuck it right in his belly to hold him back. Hand check didn't work. And Jerry Green up yelling some encouragement to his club. Well, what a nice job he's done since he's come on as the head coach here at Tennessee.
Penetration, and Black gets his first basket. Tennessee had been 4 minutes without a bucket of their own. They hit a dry spell, but Black ends the drought for the Vols. As poorly as Kentucky has played, as Bogans will shoot 2. As poorly as Kentucky has played, they only trail by 8. As Tennessee hit one of those droughts of their own.
Kentucky doing a nice job on their half-court offense. Go back and look at Tennessee do their work on their end. Watch C.J. Black right here catch this ball. Now he'll turn with that left hand, goes up very easily off of the glass. First basket for C.J.
Then John Higgins commits the Tennessee foul, putting Keith Bogans at the stripe. Bogans with 4 points. Hit only 1 of 5 from the floor, however.
Tom, he's one of many freshmen that you and I have witnessed this year that have really performed awfully well in this league. I think he's one of the better ones.
McGlory tapped that miss, and there they got it down before Yarborough clears for Tennessee. Black playing a little point guard.
Well, Slay wants it inside against Prince. He has been calling for it the last 3 passes.
Higgins, who has taken to playing more point guard now with Harris at the off guard. Higgins off the glass too hard. Prince tried to tap it to himself, but it comes right to Tennessee, and Ron Slay pounds it home. Slay with 4 points off the Tennessee bench. And the Volunteers up 24-15, their biggest lead.
Slay's been doing that all year long, though. He's been averaging just a little under 9 points per game.
He has 3 rebounds already tonight.
Kentucky not making good crisp passes, and I think a part of it's the Tennessee defense.
Smith got open for a 3, missed it. Kentucky can't buy a 3-pointer, only 1 3-point bucket tonight.
Something they haven't done well all year anyway.
Right. No surprise, they hit 29%. Worst in the conference. They're 1 of 8 tonight.
Good screen by Slay.
Harris for 3. Slay with the offensive rebound, up, blocked by McGlory. And Slay and Prince come down with it together. Jump ball is called. Possession arrow goes to Tennessee as the irrepressible Ron Slay tries to get the crowd into it.
Slay got back into it that time and actually tied him up. Watch Prince come up with the ball, and once he's got it, he tries to come down the inside. Now, here goes the shot. Oh, that's Slay's earlier. I'm sorry. And look at the reaction.
You watch the Vols practice. He's chattering. He never has a quiet moment. His mom used to tell him when he came in after playing, "Now, Ron, it's time to use the inside voice." Blocked twice. It's tough inside there, but Tennessee stays after it. Black gets it home and 1. Boy, they stayed after it on the offensive glass. McGlory kept rejecting, but Tennessee kept rebounding.
Kentucky just is not challenging Tennessee inside. A very concerned Tubby Smith right now, watching his club going down.
Jamal McGlory committing his first foul. C.J. Black with a 3-point opportunity. 16 fouls now against the Wildcats with 4:17 left. Kamara replaces Bogans. And C.J. Black enjoying the moment. Tennessee adds to its biggest lead. The Vols up 12 and still applying the pressure. Kentucky scored 4 points in 8 minutes and 15 seconds.
Allison looks like he's on skates tonight. He's sliding around out there.
And they get it in the hands of their point guard, Saul Smith. Allison a long 3. Finally, somebody scored from 3-point range. Allison's first basket.
Kentucky needs to turn their defense up now. Tennessee has had their way with Kentucky, particularly on the inside the last 4 possessions.
Harris attacking Smith. The three-pointer.
Good. Boy, the answer. Tony Harris having an awfully good first half.
11 points for Tony. 30-18 Tennessee. McGlure taken away by Harris. Harris quickly the other way. The pass. Yarborough can't hit, and McGlure hustling down court clears the rebound.
Yarborough in a very difficult situation there. He had nothing but blue jerseys around him and nobody to help.
Prince with a crossover, can't get away from Yarborough.
Kamara wants to set the high post, but there's no roll on the screen.
Prince, jump hook, no good. Kamara kept it alive, but is taken by Higgins.
Jerry Green wants a timeout.
And the Vols will get it.
Kentucky needed to get something going offensively, and of course their three-point shooting, which has been so horrendous this year. They needed something from beyond that three-point stripe, and Desmond Allison was the guy that delivered the shot for them. Outside, nailing the three, but as soon as it goes through, Tony Harris had the answer on the other end. In fact, he's had the answer the whole first half, as Harris has really led this Volunteer club.
Harris with
even signaling his own three.
11 points and an assist for Tony Harris with 2:47 left in the half. And coming up this Saturday, some will see the Volunteers back in action as they travel to Alabama. The Tide fresh from that upset of Auburn last night. And some of you will see the Georgia Bulldogs take on the South Carolina Gamecocks. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Tip-off time just shortly after 2 p.m. Eastern.
Well, that crowd in Tuscaloosa was wild last night, weren't they?
Rightly so. Kentucky's hit just 26%, 7 of 27 shooting, including 2 of 9 from three-point range. Victor. Yarborough misses the three. Strong rebound by Allison. Smith made a good catch. And is fouled.
They got Harris on a grab over there. Smith came down with the basketball. He's trying to go and get grabbed around the shoulders by Tony Harris.
First foul on Tony. 7 against Tennessee now, so Kentucky will shoot 1+1.
Watch it again. Now, Saul Smith's got the ball. He's trying to get around. Looks got him in a headlock.
It's like that.
Tony looks and he says, I committed that foul?
Looked like rodeo bulldogging there for a minute.
Well, he lacked was the horse and the rope.
Saul Smith has not scored tonight and still hasn't. Rebounded by Isaiah Victor. Tennessee up 30-18.
Kentucky usually pretty reliable from the free throw line. They shoot just under 70%.
Third in the conference. Harris Walker, the entry pass. Black. Fouled by Kamara. Second foul on Jules Kamara.
What happened was that Kamara went over to double down as the ball was on that low right block. Allowed Black to be open on the other side, and it was a nice bounce pass, freeing him to go down inside for what was going to be an easy one before he got fouled.
Kamara and Allison having a heated discussion about the defensive rotation there. What can we do?
Down 12 right now, and part of the brain trust right there. George Felton to Tubby's right. Sean Finney to his left.
C.J. Black missing the first free throw. Ron Slay back in for Tennessee.
The crowd does like him, don't they?
Andre Patillo giving him a little lecture to tone it down a bit, perhaps, as Bogans comes back in, and so does J.P. Blevins. Kamara and Smith out for Kentucky.
Slay was one of the few players against Vanderbilt on Saturday who played pretty well. Vanderbilt with a big upset win again over Tennessee.
Sweeping them. Vanderbilt the only team to defeat Tennessee here at Thompson Bowling this season. They're 13-1 and leading here 31-18 over Kentucky.
Advance Auto Parts presents part number 16.
Kentucky started quickly. Well, actually, neither team started quickly. They went 4.5 minutes without scoring a bucket. Then Kentucky led 6-0. Since then, it's been all Tennessee. And the two guys that played to a standoff in Lexington having better games tonight. And Black has outscored Magloire. Magloire has out-rebounded Black, and Magloire has more blocks. But again, almost a standoff with both of these players performing a bit better than they did at Rupp Arena.
Well, the difference for Tennessee has been their backcourt play, much better in this particular game than the one in Lexington. Tony Harris in particular.
Kentucky 7 of 27, 26% shooting. Tennessee 11 of 25, 44%, and the Vols are 3 of 6 from the three-point arc. And Arkansas leading Vanderbilt 36-20, which would effectively knock the Commodores out of the SEC East race. It's already problematical, their chances anyway, although they had a, which would seem to be favorable schedule. Here's a hustle play, and that'll give Tennessee the ball.
Tom, every time you look up when Kentucky's got the ball on offense, it seems like Tennessee is the club that's taken advantage of Kentucky.
And that's the 7th Kentucky turnover, and they have only 2 assists. Normally Kentucky one of the better teams in assist turnover ratio in the Southeastern Conference.
It's been the defense of Tennessee that's been the story in this first half.
2 minutes remaining. Steal by Bogans. 2-on-2 break. Bogans pulls up. Missed the shot and rebounded by Yarborough. I think they could have gotten a better shot than that.
Right in front of the basket.
And Bogans, who had such a good game in Lexington, only 1 of 6 here in Knoxville. They had what developed finally into a 3-on-2 break. Here's Victor, the diagonal pass. Good ball movement.
One of the very few fast breaks we've seen tonight.
Black over Magloire, won't go. Blevins has it.
Kentucky go back to that half-court game again.
Bogans with a pass to Allison. Nice to Magloire for the jam. Magloire from Allison. Jamal with 7 points.
Tom, just what you were talking about, though. Kentucky is a very good passing team, as exhibited by that little pass right there. A nice look by Allison.
Back within 11, just over a minute left. Harris against Blevins. Shoots over him for 3. No good. Magloire the rebound.
Got a bunch of rebounds in this first half.
There's the outlet to Blevins. Allison inside. Driving, and he's hammered as he takes it to the rim.
I think it's going to go the other way, though.
It is offensive foul, Desmond Allison. I couldn't really see because the official was between me and the inside. A pretty good collision, and the foul on Allison.
Watch Magloire right here down underneath. Nice pass by Desmond Allison, and an easy one for him. Made available there and by the nice pass, and then watch again as Desmond Allison goes right to the inside. It looks like Slay is the guy who took the blow.
Easy call. It was an offensive foul on Allison, who sits on the Kentucky bench in the final 36 seconds of the half. Shot clock left, game clock right. About a 10-second differential. Off a screen, Blevins stays with Harris. Walker spins, rejected by Magloire. Blevins claims it in the corner. Kentucky can take the final shot. Smith dribbling out of the trap to Blevins. Kentucky fumbling 3 passes in a row, and then Blevins a long 3. Wow, with a defender in his face. Bogans hits the 3. Kentucky with only 4 field goals over the last 13 minutes, but Bogans gives them a lift with that long 3 just before halftime. That was a tough shot.
Tom, I'm going to tell you what, he had to be about 1 step from the Tennessee bench. Watch again. Now you'll see that was 1 fumble right there by Smith. Then Bogans fumbles it over on the other side right there. The ball almost went out of bounds. He takes 1 dribble. He is 1 step inside the out of bounds line.
Wow, Keith Bogans. And Kentucky cuts it to single digits at halftime on the Bogans shots. We're at halftime, Thompson Bowling Arena. Tennessee with the upper hand, 31-23 on Kentucky.
SEC basketball is brought to you by Jefferson Pilot Financial, complete financial planning and life insurance. We're helping you write the story of your life. By Advance Auto Parts, the best part is our people. And by Sleep In. The next time you travel, stay at Sleep In a class by itself.
Knoxville sellout crowd, and the Volunteers leading the Wildcats 31-23. Kentucky and Tennessee sputtering the first few minutes, neither team able to score. Then Kentucky went up 6-0, but Tennessee comes roaring back to take command. A first half, Larry, dominated, I thought, by defense on both ends. Kentucky held to only 30% shooting. Tennessee cooling off as Kentucky stepped up their defense as well. Only 39% of that first half. Defenses dominate.
But the defense of Tennessee really, I think, was more effective than Kentucky's defense, simply because they were able to get some turnovers and score off of those turnovers. In fact, at one point, after they got the turnovers, they got 5 baskets in a row, and that kind of propelled them to that lead, which they never relinquished.
We talked about Tony Harris being so crucial to the Vols' chances. 11 points in that first half. He certainly has his A game tonight.
He does indeed. And he really got it going with a couple of three-point shots in that corner over there, which kind of gave him some confidence. Once he got that going, he's a tough player to control, because once he's turned loose, he's the best open court player in this league.
Well, thanks to that incredible shot, though, by Keith Bogans just before halftime, Kentucky has it down to single digits as we take a look at our Buick SEC Player of the Week.
The SEC Player of the Week is presented by Buick and your local Buick dealer. LSU.
Tennessee led Kentucky by 13, but we're at halftime, and Keith Bogans hitting that long miracle 3 just before the horn makes it an 8-point margin. 31-23, the Vols leading the Cats. With at least a share of the SEC East lead on the line. Tennessee up on Kentucky 31-23. Let's check some other scores now. First in the SEC play. SEC Plays of the Week. The bullet feed rolling behind the back to Free. Got it. What a touch and go. And the SEC 2000 race getting down to crucial games now. Another half to go here in Knoxville with Tennessee up by 8. Low scoring first half. Tennessee 31, Kentucky 23. Both teams going through some of those scoring droughts again, Larry. We give the defense some credit, but it's a familiar tale for the Wildcats. But there were some bright moments for them.
And let's take a look at the first 20 minutes of the highlights, and we'll show you exactly what we're talking about. First of all, for Kentucky, Jamal McGlory right there. C.J. Black comes back, right place at the right time, gets the ball thrown back in, and an easy one. And of course, Tony Harris found a home, nailing 1 of 2 3-point shots on that right side with a little rational exuberance.
And the halftime stats show Kentucky shooting only 30% on 9 of 30, 39% for the Volunteers. The team shooting free throws very well. The 3-point bucket's big. 3 of 10 for Kentucky, 3 of 7 for Tennessee. Rebounds are close. Tennessee up 1. 8 turnovers by Kentucky, leading to 10 Tennessee points as they stepped up the defense and turned defense into offense. Leading point getters, Tony Harris with 11. Jamal McGlory with 7 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Second half is coming up. For the big first half, leading Tennessee to that 8-point lead. We talked as we came on the air about how important he was to Tennessee's success. In their 4 losses, only 20% shooting and 7 points. He's already surpassed that here in the first half. He's hit 4 of 7, 3 of 5 from 3-point range, and 11 points.
Good sign for Tennessee if, in fact, he continues to play that way in the second half like he did in the first 20 minutes.
Kentucky's ball to open the second half. Desmond Allison gets the second half start. Jules Kamara stays on the bench. So it's Prince, Smith, McGlory, Bogans, and Allison.
See if Kentucky can pick up where they left off as Tennessee goes into the man-to-man defense, and they go right to McGlory.
Jump hook, goes glass, and puts it down. His 9th point. He took it right to C.J. Black. It's Black, Higgins, Yarbrough, Victor, and Harris, Tennessee's original starting 5. Higgins was in trouble, but Prince couldn't quite get into the passing lane in time. Harris for 3. From the corner, Tony Harris shakes his head. You can't stop me, and he's got 14.
Well, he loves it down in that corner, doesn't he? It's the 3rd one of those he's hit from down there.
Just as Kentucky had cut it to 6, Harris answers with a 3. Allison drains one for Kentucky, and right back the Wildcats as they cut it back to 6 points.
Tom, a good start for Kentucky. They needed something positive coming out of that locker room.
Yarbrough to Victor inside, surrounded by the defense, kicks it back out. Harris, a long 3, rattled out. Black had it for a moment on the floor. Still scrambling for it. McGlory wades in, and they'll call a jump ball, I think.
because you don't know what else to call when there are 5 guys laying around there on the floor.
One thing for sure, you got to clean it up right there. Watch Prince right here drop the ball down inside. Good to get that. And of course, Tony Harris hitting his 3rd 3 from down deep in that corner on the baseline area. And you're right, shaking his head, saying, nobody's getting me tonight.
Tennessee's ball on the alternate possession. And Higgins will set it up. Bogans comes right out to get him.
Saul Smith really tight on Harris out front.
They'll recycle the offense with plenty of time on the shot clock. Higgins, re-entry pass to Victor against Prince. Put it in.
Well, that was pretty. Very nice move. Good ball movement.
Prince let him catch the ball that close. It's that same thing you were talking about in this case. So close to the rim, not much you can do. Tennessee, 36-28. McGlure again deep. Blocked by Victor. Victor rejects McGlure's shot. Second block by Isaiah. And Smith knocks Harris out of bounds. Saul committing the foul. Number 2 on Smith.
Isaiah Victor, terrific work down on the interior, but watch right here what he does offensively. Nice turn to the inside and stretches out and lays it up over Prince. Now watch C.J. Black. Victor over to help. Rejects the shot of McGlure. Isaiah Victor with 2 good plays back to back.
Here's Victor again. Spinning on Prince. Can't score that time. Loose ball. Allison has it. 3-on-2 break. Bogans takes it to the rim and scores.
Good job by Kentucky. They filled the lanes that time, and Bogans dropped it off right in the right spot.
Back within 6. Higgins says, let's set it up. Bogans now with 9 points. Higgins had a wide open look. Offensive rebound. Black got it.
See, when you're that close to the basket, I don't care how good a shot blocker you are, you can't get up to reject that one. Black just laid it over the edge of the rim.
Volunteers back by 8. Here's McGlure again. Kentucky determined to get it inside to McGlure, and he's called for the offensive foul. Black goes to the floor. McGlure picks up number 2.
Go back and look at a couple of plays earlier. Something successful out of the Kentucky offense. You'll watch right here as Bogans gets it at the end. Allison with a nice tip to himself right there, and Bogans finishing it off with an easy layup. Volunteers, well, they get it done on the inside. Watch C.J. Black with a nice turn right here. Look at McGlure right there. No way he's going to block that shot. Can't get around the net.
Full court pressure by Kentucky. And Harris on the fly. Tony Harris stripped by Smith. How did Saul Smith ever catch up to Tony Harris, who was flying down court? It'll be Tennessee's ball.
Tommy, you'd be hard-pressed to find a player in the Southeastern Conference, if not in the country, that goes faster up and down the floor than Tony Harris.
Woods into the game for the Volunteers. Giving the ball to Yarbrough, attacking Allison. And Woods for 3. Terrence Woods nails a 3. Came off a screen, catch and shoot. His first basket.
He's actually the best 3-point shooter they have on the squad.
And Tennessee back up by 11 points. Kentucky had cut it to 6. Bogans for 3. Rimmed out to Yarbrough. Here's Harris again in a hurry. Harris got away with a little push-off on the off arm. Didn't matter. As Victor attacks the rim and draws the Kentucky foul.
Well, Tennessee getting it done inside and outside. Terrence Woods nailing a 3 right here. 48 range coming in. Got it right in that corner down there. Something Tennessee's done a lot of in this first and second half.
Foul call on Jules Kamara. That's his 3rd foul. Comes with 16:14 on the clock. And Tennessee trying to add to an 11-point advantage. Isaiah Victor with 7 points.
Victor's really been struggling recently. Only 19 points in his last 3 games. In fact, he only had 2 against Vanderbilt over the weekend. Only attempted 2 shots and didn't make either one of them.
Hathaway replacing Black as Victor hits the second free throw as well. And the Tennessee lead is 13. That matches their biggest advantage. Prince has had a quiet night. Spins on Victor, can't score. Hathaway clears. Here's the outlet to Harris. Tennessee trying to up the tempo of the game. Prince deflects it away. Bogans.
His long arms came into play on that defensive play.
Kamara wide open, didn't turn to the rim. Here's Allison. Tries to kick it back out. Bad pass deflected. Bogans swipes it right back and then throws it to Victor.
Kentucky had a couple of opportunities there and just threw the ball away.
Allison calling for the jump ball, won't get the call. It's the third foul on Desmond Allison. And with 15:29 showing on the clock, we'll take a break. Volunteers saw their lead shrink to 6. They're back out by 13. His biggest lead of the game, 13-point bulge on the Wildcats. Check some other scores. The game's in progress. In 7-0 spurt for the Volunteers after Kentucky had gotten within 6 and make it a Tony Harris. 17 now for Harris.
And a 10-0 run now for Tennessee. Kentucky very close to having this one taken completely away from them.
Hathaway fouls McGlure. First Tennessee foul of the second half. Third, though, on Hathaway.
Tony Harris, while in the 4 losses, he has not performed well. If Tennessee wins this game, that's going to be the reason. It's because he can shoot the ball that way.
Stone and Blevins into the Kentucky lineup. Four of 12 shooting by Kentucky. 6 of 11 Tennessee from the arc. Wildcats keep after it. Stone came up short again. Finally Prince. He can't hit it. Tapped again on the floor. McGlure diving with Yarbrough. Kentucky's ball. Well, you can't fault the effort, but the results not too good for the Wildcats tonight. They missed their last 6 shots.
Well, it is frustrating for Kentucky, particularly after they went up on that offensive glass as many times as they did. Bogans with a miss. Watch this. There's one offensive rebound. Here comes back a second one by Stone. They get it back. A third one by Prince. A tip on the inside by McGlure. I'm not too sure McGlure didn't get away with a foul right there.
And then Tennessee comes up with it, and they bring it up court with a 46-32 lead. Wide open look for Woods. Missed the three-pointer. McGlure picks it up off the floor to Blevins. Blevins for 3. J.P. Blevins trying to give Kentucky a lift. He had the 4 trays in the Saturday game against Georgia. And here's a foul on the inbounds play called on Harris.
Watch J.P. Blevins right here, Tom. You were talking about those threes he made against Georgia. You know, if he were to get hot here, he could get Kentucky right back in here. There's the push and shove by Harris.
Harris got him with a forearm to the chops, and it's the second foul on Tony Harris. Announcers for this game selected and compensated by Jefferson Pilot Sports. Any use of the broadcast without the express permission of the Southeastern Conference and Jefferson Pilot Sports is prohibited. And Jerry Green is going to take Tony Harris out of the game and let him cool off a little bit. I don't mean cool off on his shooting stroke. I mean cool off on his temper.
On his temperament. Kentucky with a chance now to get it under double figures.
This one it looked like, as you said, they're about to be blown out. Chance at least to get back into it. McGlure against Hathaway. Double down help from Yarbrough, but he couldn't flash it back out to Prince in time. And then it's swiped by Woods. Terrence Woods, Blevins racing in. And a foul called maybe on Bogans, who was chasing. It's number 2 on Keith Bogans.
Good play again by Tennessee. It's their defense triggering their offense. Watch this move. Watch that. Yarbrough would not let him get by, would he? And then Woods comes in there with a nice steal and go to the other end. Now watch Bogans reach across. Looks like he got an awful lot of ball, but got a little bit of the arm too.
46-35 Tennessee. Slay banging Stone. 2 freshmen. Stone forced him to kick it back out. Then Woods launches a 3. Battle for the rebound. McGlure gets it to Blevins. 2-on-2 break. Blevins puts it up. Off balance shot. He had No chance on that one, and is called for the offensive foul. J.P. Blevins, out of control, wastes a Kentucky opportunity.
Tom, I'm not sure I don't understand why he didn't go up and shoot that shot he just shot a few seconds ago. He made a nice three. Tony Harris looking on, seeing his clubs ahead. Now watch this. He goes right into Higgins. No question about the call. It's a player control foul.
Wasted opportunity for the Wildcats, who still trail 46-35. Full court pressure from Kentucky. And Saul Smith will replace Tayshaun Prince. Final score from Columbia. LSU comes from behind to win 64-59.
It ties them with Auburn now in the Western Division.
They are amazing. John Brady and the LSU Tigers. Tayshaun Prince to the bench, has not scored tonight. Second leading scorer for the Wildcats, a non-factor this evening. Black, McGlure just held his ground, and the ball out of bounds back to Tennessee. Ron Slay with a look at Saul Smith.
Really nowhere for Slay to go in there. McGlure, Stone.
I said Black, it was Slay.
Yeah.
Off a screen, long three by Yarbrough, no good. McGlure to Smith. Stone is back and posting. Smith shoots a three and got it. Saul Smith, as Kentucky suddenly finds its three-point game. First bucket of the game for Smith.
Well, first it was Blevins, and now it's Saul Smith that's gotten Kentucky back to within 8.
Slay for three. Brick. Here's Bogans.
Bogans going up.
He shoots a three. Short. Never had a chance to get there. Bogans tries to chase it down and knocks it off a Tennessee player. He deflected the ball off Higgins, and the Wildcats will get it back.
Jules Kamara getting ready to come into the game.
Enough. He gets Tony Harris back in the game. Harris Walker is also in. There's Tony Harris. Checking Saul Smith. Every Kentucky cutter is solidly bumped by Tennessee. They're making sure that there are no free passes to the bucket. Right through Blevins' hands. Then he wades down, and they have another scrum. And this one will be Kentucky's possession arrow.
Tom, you're right about that. Every player that goes through for Kentucky anywhere around that lane gets a little bump. And the other thing is the guys with the basketballs, they're turning. They're not allowing them to make good, nice zipper cuts down inside. See Blevins go to the floor right here, and I'll tell you what, when Hathaway falls on top of you, that's big.
Ball had been right through Blevins' hands. It just. But Kentucky's three-point shooting has gotten them back in it after hitting 3 of 10 in the first half. They are 3 of 5 to open the second half from three-point range. Shot clock did not reset. Doesn't matter. McGlure, quick shot, it's not there. Good shot, but he couldn't hit it. Slay, nice pass. And a foul called. That follow will not count. Foul before the putback slam. Vegas Davis.
Tom, the question right now is the Kentucky bench is upset with this call because they thought J.P. Blevins got there in time to draw the charge in the player control foul.
It's the second foul, though, on Blevins.
Watch, in fact, you can tell right here on this particular play. Watch Davis. He really had nowhere to come down.
Vegas Davis, the senior from Parker, Arizona, steps to the free throw line. He is one of only 2 seniors on the team.
You know, now that Baker's out, I assume Vegas Davis will probably get a little bit more playing time.
And there is Del Baker applauding from the Tennessee bench. 47-38. Just past the 12-minute mark in Knoxville. Kentucky won in Lexington 81-68. Tennessee trying to return the favor. McGlure facing on Hathaway. Got rid of it. Hathaway holding his ground. Bogans penetrates as he slashes to the basket. He's fouled. He'll at least have a chance to get to the line. Vegas Davis with the foul. Tennessee still holding on. They're up 47-38 on Kentucky. Despite scoring only 1 point in the last 3.5 minutes, Tennessee leads Kentucky 47-38. We've got the place for you to talk SEC basketball online at jpsports.com. That's the SEC Game of the Week from Athens, Georgia. As Florida handily beats the Bulldogs 90-68, assuring themselves of at least a share of first place in the SEC East.
By the way, I would lend my services tonight as your administrative assistant.
Thank you. I'll probably need all the help I can get. I had a chuckle there. Andre Patillo looked over at us as they came back into play, saying, we could use you guys out there. Some wide bodies as the play has gotten pretty physical. Saul Smith with his 5th point.
We both fit that bill.
And the lead is 7. Slay deep on Kamara, surrounded. Blevins tied him up. Good help defense by J.P. Blevins.
Well, Slay was trying to out-muscle inside, and there was no way for him to get around the inside of Kamara. Watch Slay right here. Now, once he gets in there, see, Kamara's got him blocked out. He's not going to let him get in there. Then when Slay turns, Blevins is right there to tie him up.
Possession arrow to Tennessee as Jerry Green gets his starters back on the floor.
Well, Tennessee has played a lot of people. You mentioned in the first half, they are a very deep team. They can play 10 guys and really not get hurt very much when they go to that second group.
That's quality depth, isn't it?
Yep.
Black up and under on McGlure. Got McGlure to commit. And we'll go to the free throw line. That's number 3 on McGlure. And it's also 8 against Kentucky with 11-13 left in the half. Tennessee's committed only 3 fouls so far in the half.
And Tubby Smith asking his staff right now. I said, now look, he's got 3 fouls. Let's keep an eye on him. Don't let him get into that 4th one. And I'm sure that's what the conversation will be the next time they go to the bench.
9 points, 5 rebounds for C.J. Black, shooting for double figures. And he got it. Back to a 9-point advantage for the Volunteers. Blevins being attacked by Higgins in backcourt. Here comes the trap from Black. Now he backs away, and Blevins brings it across the timeline.
Smart move by Blevins. He backed it out a little bit and caused Black to go on back down the floor.
See if they go inside to McGlure again. He's been productive. Instead, Bogan's forced a bad shot, tapped a couple of times by Kamara. And here comes Tennessee on the fly. Higgins, cross court, Harris. Tony Harris. Offensive foul is called. Number 3 on Harris, and Saul Smith took the charge.
Pretty nice defensive play right there. Tony Harris had the shot, passed it up, decided to take it to the inside as he picks up his 3rd personal foul on the offensive player control foul. Blevins getting a lot of playing time tonight.
Off his performance Saturday, probably deservedly so. Bogans, outside shot. McGlure goes down trying to save it. Victor comes up with it for Tennessee. Here's Harris. He's got Yarbrough in front. He leaves it for Victor, and it'll count. And 1 for Isaiah Victor.
Nice pass that time by Harris. He knew who was trailing the play. Isaiah Victor running the floor. That's what we talk about, big guys running the floor, how important it is. You fill lanes and you get points. Watch this. Harris looking over his shoulder. He knows he's there. Isaiah Victor. Saul Smith is going to try to take the charge, but I think Bogans picked up the foul, didn't he?
Bogans did pick up the foul, and Bogans' shot selection the last couple of trips has not been very good. There's Bogans committing the foul.
And it's Smith taking the punishment.
And Keith Bogans will go to the bench. Tubby Smith not happy with the last 2 off-balance shots he's taken. Just as Kentucky was in the midst of a comeback, the freshman a little out of control and goes to the bench.
Some sort of conversation going on. I'm not sure what this is about. Were they looking over at the bench trying to decide whether it's 1-on-1? The basket count. They only get 1 shot.
And it's good by Isaiah Victor, who has 11 points. And Tennessee once again repulses the Kentucky challenge. They're back out by 12. Kentucky keeps making runs, and Tennessee always has an answer. Tayshaun Prince back on the floor, still has not scored. Saul Smith for three. Long rebound. Tennessee has it. Higgins has Yarbrough and Harris trailing. Instead, Victor puts it up and in. Kentucky very slow to get back that time.
Yeah, they didn't react very well, and Tennessee took full advantage of it. They're up by 14 now.
7-0 run by the Volunteers. Right through the hands of Prince. Another Tennessee steal. 3 on none. Nope, nope, hold it. Foul was called. They're going to call Yarbrough for the foul. Well, Tayshaun Prince has had a nightmare game after barely playing against Georgia. He's been in Tubby Smith's doghouse, academics being one reason, and expressing his displeasure in the media with Tubby Smith reinstituting 6 a.m. practices. Tayshaun saying his legs were weak and he was tired, so his woes continue here tonight in Knoxville.
Well, it just hasn't caught the ball. I mean, even the passes that are coming to him, they're going right through his hands.
Long three by Prince. Still cannot connect. McGlure battling for it. Loose ball finally blocked for Tennessee. Smith knocked it out of his hand. Tennessee retains possession.
Tennessee seems to be in full control of this game right now.
Well, just as we count Kentucky out each time they come back, but then Tennessee has the answer always. Kentucky can't get over the hump thanks to the determined work for the Volunteers. Victor misses the shot. Kamara to Prince. Prince spotted for a three. Still has not scored in the game. Tapped by McGlure.
Nice tip in by Jamal McGlure.
He has 11 points.
This play's been pretty good tonight.
He's the first Wildcat in double figures.
Got to have a big guy around the basket like that. It's nice to know you can get an offensive rebound from guys like he and Kamara. Well, Kentucky needs to do some defensive stops right here, beginning with this possession by Tennessee.
Now this is where Jerry Green has said that his team needs to be more patient and take better shots. There's Harris. Anything he's shot tonight's been a good one. Allison the rebound. They had numbers. They had a similar lead against Vanderbilt, did Tennessee, and let it get away from them by taking some wild shots. Again, McGlure battling on the offensive glass. He and Victor fall to the court, and the foul is on McGlure. That's number 4 on Jamal. Tennessee with a 54-42 lead as we take a timeout in Knoxville. Knoxville, C.J. Black was injured a moment ago, just had the wind knocked out of him, we think, and finally got up, and we walked down to the other end where Isaiah Victor was getting ready to shoot some more free throws. And first we'll take another break here. Well, we'll be in Atlanta to bring you all the action of the SEC basketball tournament. Coverage begins Thursday, March 9th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. It'll continue through the semifinal games on Saturday, March 11th. It'll be an incredible tournament. You consider the 6 top 25 teams in the SEC and teams like Alabama that upset Auburn last night. South Carolina, as you said, has been playing well. Georgia capable. It's going to be some kind of tournament. It's the SEC basketball tournament on JP Sports, presented by Dr. Pepper. We say that every year that it's going to be an exciting tournament because we know how good the basketball in the SEC is, but it's almost mind-boggling this year.
It really is. And Tom, we've talked a lot about the top 6 and the bottom 6, but the top 6 clubs that I think are going to make the NCAA tournament all have a chance to get in there. But anyway, the Alabama's been playing well. South Carolina's been playing well. It is really wide open. If you have a chance to come in for this tournament, come in, because it will be terrific.
And it looks like the hottest team in the league right now, the LSU Tigers. Well, here's the scoring by class, and Tennessee's juniors, led by Tony Harris, with 30 of their points. Jamal McGlure, Kentucky's senior, has been the most productive, as the sophomores have 15 of their points. Full house here at Thompson Bowling Arena tonight, and they've enjoyed the show. Peyton Manning is in the house. Peyton, after that incredible season at quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts in his second pro campaign. And Florida has assured itself of a share of first place in the East. Here are the division records. This is the second tiebreaker. The first tiebreaker is head-to-head, and then the second tiebreaker, Eastern Division records. This is entering play tonight. Kentucky had the edge. They're about to lose another Eastern Division game, and they will have split with Tennessee. They have a date with Florida remaining, the final game of the regular season. Tennessee swept Florida, of course, so it's going to take a PhD in mathematics to figure out the tiebreaker if this continues.
You're going to be able to do that, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Isaiah Victor scored the last 6 points for Tennessee. He has 15 in the game, the Kentucky native, taking a little revenge against his home state school. Allison for 3.
That one hit off the back of the rim and didn't even bounce. It just stayed there.
Clunk. It counts. He has 11 points. Hathaway comes out to get it. Yarborough. Slay forced it up, not there. Allison takes it the other way. He's got Saul Smith on the wing. Allison gets it back from Smith. Misses this 3. And the rebound to Higgins. Well, this is where Jerry Green has called for some patience.
Offensive foul.
And it'll turn it over to Kentucky.
No patience there.
Hathaway, number 3. Well, in the first meeting in Lexington, C.J. Black and Jamal McGlure played to a standoff, 2 points apiece. It's been a near standoff this time for 2 sophomore stars, Tayshaun Prince and Vincent Yarborough. Prince hasn't scored, Yarborough only 4.
See if Kentucky has another run in him. You talked about Prince. All right, he'll score.
There's his first bucket of the game. 2 points for Prince.
It's nice when they listen to you, isn't it?
And Kentucky back within single digits. The Wildcats won't go away, but can't get over the hump.
Kentucky still in their man-to-man defense. Tennessee wants to run some half court, but Kentucky making a little run here. Only down 9 if they can get a couple of stops.
Yarborough over Stone, short. And it's picked up by Marvin Stone. He didn't know quite what to do with it. And he'll turn it over. Traveling call on Stone. 14th Kentucky turnover.
Tough break because they got the stop that time. They just couldn't convert it into a basket. Nice move by Prince down inside. Offensively, he's the guy that maybe in the stretch here they could turn and look to as you see the turnovers.
Keith Bogans comes in to replace Marvin Stone. McGlure still on the bench. Just over 6 minutes left.
Kentucky needs to turn their defense up a little bit. If they're going to get some stops, they've got to get the ball going the other way. Good job by Saul Smith turning in Yarborough.
Harris against Allison has a quickness advantage. Quick stop. Over the back foul will be called on Yarborough. Number 2, I believe, on Yarborough.
17th foul, which will send Kentucky to the free throw line.
And Yarborough's older brother, Del Baker, watching the action in street clothes. 5:54. 1+1 for Saul Smith.
That's the way you like to get points, Tom, when you're down 9. Shoot free throws. No point, no time running off of that clock.
Missed the first of a 1-and-1. Crucial miss by Saul Smith and the Wildcats. Tennessee has it back. Yarborough slicing to the rim. Rebounded by Black. Here's Harris for 3. Got it!
He's been the man. He was pretty prophetic in that first half when he was shaking his head and he said, "You're not getting me tonight."
20 points for Tony Harris. Back out to a 12-point lead for Tennessee.
Good screen by Kamara. Good help by Black.
Allison penetrates, nowhere to go. Tried to dish it, deflect it, got it back, puts it up, wild shot, Allison.
That off.
Here's Harris, wasting no time, and he's fouled. Harris just doesn't know what slow down means. He's going 100 miles an hour every minute.
Quickest guy up and down the floor, I think, in this conference, but Tony Harris also can slow down long enough to shoot threes.
Saul Smith picking up his third foul.
Watch Allison underneath. Watch him get this shot off. I mean, he gets bumped, gets turned a little bit, and as he's falling down, gets the ball up and over the rim and into the net.
Harris rolls in the free throw. Terrence Woods back in for the Volunteers as Harris toes the line for his second attempt. Tony Harris got them both, 22 points. 5 minutes left in the game.
Well, Kentucky made a little bit of run at them, and Tennessee answered.
Jamal McGlure, who has a double-double, off the bench to come back in as Prince misses a three. Back tapped. Victor takes it against Prince for the jam.
Oh, was that big? You talk about flying high.
17 points, 6 rebounds for Isaiah Victor. And Tayshaun Prince wanted nothing to do with that.
He wouldn't even get close.
Crossover dribble by Bogans, and he's hammered as he takes it inside.
I'm going to tell you what, Prince had an angle if he wanted to try to block this, but no way. Isaiah Victor pushing, look at this. His eyes are lighting up. Prince says, nope, I'm not getting anywhere near it. A little surprised he didn't try to foul to keep him from dunking the basketball.
Bogan's free throw is no good. Kentucky's free throw shooting is hurting them. 2 of 7 at the line, and a couple of those were the first of the 1+1.
As I said in the first half, Kentucky pretty reliable when it comes to shooting free throws, but not tonight.
Bogan's trying to reach double figures. Missed them both. Prince, the offensive board, put it back up over his head. I don't know what that was.
I don't believe I've ever seen a shot like that.
I hope not to again either. Allison comes up with a loose ball. Numbers for Kentucky. Bogans with a pull-up.
Good steal by Allison. Nice pull-up by Bogans.
11 points now for Keith, who commits the foul. Well, either he or Allison. It is on Bogans. That's his 4th personal foul.
Good pass by Desmond Allison. Bogans pulls up instead of maybe committing the charging foul. The player control foul, takes a little 8-foot jump shot. Bogans in double figures.
Here's the man at the moment at the free throw line for the Volunteers. That's Tony Harris. Blevins in for Kentucky, and Bogans will go out.
Tom, it's pretty obvious that as Harris goes, so goes Tennessee. I mean, in those 4 losses that they had, he played so poorly. Tonight, he's playing very well. And what do they got right now? Well, they've got a 13-point lead because he's played so well.
It is a pretty dramatic difference. 4 minutes left. Prince for 3. Tayshaun Prince, a much-needed three-pointer. 64-54. Kentucky back within 10.
Harris is going to slow it down. That's tough for him.
Victor. Prince was fronting, and the excellent pass carried Isaiah Victor right to the rim, and Victor has scored 15 points in this second half. Prince, careless. Victor took it away from him, and then Allison fouls.
Allison or Prince? Who's going to get it?
Doesn't matter, does it? It's on Prince. Poetic justice, since he was careless with the ball in the first place. His first foul.
Happy bunch of Volunteers over there right now.
They're going to gain a split, it appears, with the Wildcats. Isaiah Victor with another point. He has been red hot in this second half.
Tom, I talked about him in the first half about the fact that he has been up and down all year long. Tonight, the roller coaster ride is right now at its apex.
Isaiah Victor gives Tennessee a 68-54 lead. We'll be back to Knoxville after these messages from your local SEC station.
With financial planning and life insurance, we're helping you write the story of your life. By Alltel, the power to simplify. And by Bank of America. At Bank of America, we find financial solutions that fit you. Let's talk.
Isaiah Victor with 21 points and 7 rebounds seems to save his best games for Kentucky. And Tony Harris has been excellent throughout the game. And the ball 68-54 despite the efforts of Jamal McGlure, who has his 12th double-double of the season. McGlure to Allison. Blocked by Victor, and then Prince comes up with it. Back to Smith for 3. Offensive rebound, and the stick back by Desmond Allison.
Good job offensively on the inside by Kentucky that time.
Nearly an over and back there by Yarbrough.
Sort of unfamiliar territory for him playing out there.
And Tennessee wisely backs it out. They're a clock their ally at the moment.
Harris is in no hurry.
5 to shoot. Yarbrough for 3. Air ball. Saul Smith in a hurry the other way. He's got Allison on the wing. Smith takes it and was fouled. Well, Tennessee did not want a foul. Harris got him. 2:18 on the clock.
Tell you what, Saul Smith's got some speed. He can get up and down the floor, and Tony Harris was right there with him.
Well, here are the remaining games. Florida won at Georgia. They have to play Auburn and at Kentucky. Tennessee has Alabama, Arkansas, and Georgia after tonight. And Kentucky with Arkansas at Rupp Arena, at Starkville, and home against Florida. Remember, head-to-head is the first tiebreaker. If Tennessee and Florida are tied at the end of tonight's action, the advantage would be for the Volunteers, who swept the Gators. Smith hits the second free throw, 68-57. Victor on the run out. He finds Harris. Harris for 3. Knocked out of Prince's hands by C.J. Black. Well, there was a quick shot by Tennessee that Jerry Green probably would have preferred not to see, as looks like Arkansas is going to derail the Commodores. And in Starkville, Mississippi State pulling away. Prince falls down and travels.
He got himself in trouble when he went inside there. Isaiah Victor was all over him.
16th Kentucky turnover. 1:57 on the clock.
Prince has really struggled with the basketball tonight, not only catching it but handling it too. Good trap by Kentucky.
Trap by Kentucky. They throw it out to Harris, though. Higgins did a good job of getting it out of that trap.
All Tennessee has to do is just protect the basketball. Crowd very appreciative of what they're doing right now.
This is what Jerry Green called for in this situation. Smith cuts off Harris, and it'll be a shot clock violation. But Jerry Green will probably take that. Game clock down to 1:21, the 12th Tennessee turnover. Tough combo. 12 of 23 shooting and 44 points for Harris and Victor. Blevins for 3. J.P. Blevins hits a 3.
Good screen that time from Prince to allow him to get open.
Timeout Kentucky. They're back within 8, but only a minute 14 on the clock. A reminder, on many of these stations Saturday afternoon, Some of you will see the Vols back in action as they travel to Tuscaloosa. Alabama, after upsetting Auburn last night, will entertain the Vols on Saturday. Others will see Georgia battle South Carolina in Columbia. Game time 2 Eastern time. Jerry Green.
He is ahead, isn't he?
Despite an 8-point lead, not happy with his troops.
I think he wants his club to continue to play the string out here and really get down on that defensive work that they should so justifiably be proud of. They've really done a good job on the defensive end tonight, and he wants to finish up strong down there.
Kentucky will pick up full court. They trail by 8. Blevins got it away from Higgins, gives it to Prince, and one.
How about that? How about the steal by Blevins? All of a sudden, Kentucky back in this game. Watch Blevins come up with this steal right here. Good hands. He got it, fought it, got it back, got it to Prince. Prince with a nice move across the lane. Victor with the foul and the basket.
And Tennessee will take a timeout. Victor committing the cardinal sin. If you're going to foul, don't let him make the basket. Make it a hard enough foul. And as improbable as it seems, Kentucky has a chance to cut the lead to only 5 with 1:08 remaining.
Got to give Kentucky a lot of credit for this battle. For them to be coming back. If they get this free throw, they'll only be 5 down. It'll be a 2-possession game.
Well, all night long they've battled back. And every time Tennessee's been able to hold them off. The Wildcats have reeled off 8 points in a row the last 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Tony Harris has had the big night. 23 points on 50% shooting and 6 of 11 from the three-point arc. So Harris has done his job, and so has Isaiah Victor. But the lead is only 6 with Prince at the free throw line.
Where would Kentucky be right now if they'd made those free throws?
Three of 10 free throw shooting by Kentucky. Prince sinks the free throw. It's a 5-point game, 68-63. Here's Harris. Smith has him. Kentucky's going to have to foul. And there it is, the foul. Tayshaun Prince with 57.5 seconds.
Well, they got the one guy they wanted to get. I mean, Victor is only a 61% free throw shooter.
Allison and Harris getting into it. So Isaiah Victor from Hopkinsville, Kentucky, University Heights High School, at the free throw line. He's had a real big game against the Wildcats, 21 points and 7 rebounds, and with 57.5, he misses the first free throw. He'll have one more. Kentucky's over the limit.
Well, as I said, they went after and got the right guy.
Victor 61% on the season. He makes 1 of 2. And Ron Slay replaces Victor.
Good idea by Tennessee to come out and put some pressure now on Kentucky's offense.
And Bogans will come into the game. Kamara out. Offensive, defensive substitutions.
Kentucky with a very small lineup in there right now. But they've got the 3 shooters.
Bogans right by C.J. Black. Rejected by Yarborough.
Yeah, he got it.
And Blevins fouls Harris. Vincent Yarborough with a key block as Bogans took it right at him.
Good defensive play down inside. Yarborough made sure that he got his timing just right. Made his move. He went inside of that little jump stop, and there was Yarborough waiting on him.
You know what? I think Black got a piece of it as well, looking at the replay. So Harris at the free throw line, 46.4 on the clock. That's 24 points for Tony Harris. And 25.
Harris with an excellent night.
8-point Tennessee lead. Kentucky needs a 3. Smith is going to try to give him a 2. Took it in there and drew the foul from Black. Next Wednesday night on many of these stations, 8 o'clock game time as Arkansas visits Thompson Bowling Arena. And some of you will see a major battle in the SEC West. The LSU Tigers take on Chris Porter and the Auburn Tigers in the loveliest village on the plain, Auburn, Alabama.
That one could settle the West.
Good indeed. Final score from Starkville, Mississippi State whipping their in-state rival 80-67. Smith rolls in the second free throw. It's 71-65. 6-point lead with 37.8 seconds as Bogans goes out. Kamara in. Kamara in for defense. Inbound to Higgins. Fouled by Blevins. Higgins only a 59% free throw shooter, so that's the man Kentucky would choose to put at the line. And while we walk to the free throw line, let's take a look at our all-tell play of the game.
This one's pretty obvious for the Tennessee Volunteers. Our all-tell play of the game is going to belong to Isaiah Victor. Tremendous dunk right here. Watch him take this ball and just fly through the air. Tayshaun Prince, a viewer, like many other people who are tonight. Very happy Volunteer fans looking on.
Higgins makes the free throw. Misses the second one. Smith nowhere to go, cut off. They need a 3-point shooter to step to the ball. Kamara gets it to Smith. Smith's going to penetrate again, missed the layup. Got it back and couldn't score still. And finally Black with the outlet to Harris. And they'll just let the time tick away. Harris playing a little dribble keep away. Allison finally catches up to foul him.
Tom, this really does put Tennessee in the driver's seat.
Well, Tennessee won here last year as they swept Kentucky, but they had not won back-to-back against the Wildcats in Knoxville since '92 and '93. So they will have won in '99 and 2000. Tony Harris, the star of the game, 26 points. He and Victor combined to hold off the Wildcats, who made run after run after run, but could never quite catch up. So the season series between the two will be all even, and it will be Florida and Tennessee tied atop the SEC East. Basket good by Kamara, a 2-pointer as the horn sounds. And Tennessee and Kentucky, those two old rivals, have split their season series. Kentucky winning in Lexington 81-68, and the Volunteers prevailing in Knoxville 74-67. So in this SEC East showdown, Tennessee wins behind Harris and Victor, and they tie Florida atop the SEC East. And of course, they swept the Gators in their games this regular season, both going into overtime, one of them double overtime. So big win for the Volunteers in Knoxville. Tom Hammond for Larry Conley saying so long from Knoxville. You've been watching JP SEC coverage.
148-mile trip from Cincinnati to Knoxville. Our producer wants us to walk. Kentucky and Tennessee, Volunteers playing some defense. Tony Harris comes up with it, knocks down the long jumper, Vols by 2, gets the friendly roll. More Volunteer D. Marvin Stone gets picked by Vincent Yarbrough, gives it to Harris, who gives it back to the man who stole it in the first place. Vols score 16 turnovers, leading to 21 points. But as time winds down the first half, Keith Bogans from way downtown, fruitcake. Cats down 8 at the half thanks to that long-range 3. Second half, Harris the fancy lead for Isaiah Victor, and the foul. Tennessee by an even dozen. Later in the second half, more Victor, who picks up the loose ball and takes it the distance with style. Tennessee wins it 74-67. 7th-ranked Vols got 22 points from Victor, tying a school record with its 22nd win. The Wildcats have dropped 3 straight on the road.